as we commemorate the International Women's Day, we are happy that you are all going to be with us in the spirit of devolution and decentralization. National events are not just being held in Harare, which was the case many years ago, but the president came with this strong devolution and decentralization. And in that spirit, we are taking our International Women's Day commemorations to Manicaland province. We know last year we were in Midlands in Shirugwi. We also go straight into the rural areas, and I'm very happy to say you have shown your commitment by attending this very special day, and I hope this year the International Women's Day is going to be big and a big success, and we can come up with our resolve to say, when you look at the women, when you hear the GB survivors talking, when you hear the women issues in terms of not accessing land, when you hear the women's issues when it comes to inheritance issues, when you hear women's problems when it comes to become politically active and take a political career, I guess. I am a career. And I've always said it is important to carry 52% of our population for us to achieve the Vision 2030. So for anybody who still feels that the ministry has the mandate which we have will not improve this country, we are actually doing a study on something which has hit us, which is for a very long time, gender-based violence, and we have managed to get some partners on board so that we can do a thorough and proper study with our academia, with the Zimstats with us. We will be able to showcase how gender-based violence is a big cost to the development of this country. This is where a lot of people need to be educated and informed. And as such, we also want to be able to come up with and review those policies which we already have in place to make sure that we achieve the desired results. We can do a lot of work, but our job as the ministry is to coordinate all the stakeholders so that when we move as a group, we've got a greater impact. So I really want to thank you, and on this day where we will be talking about the International Women's Day, the rest of the world will be celebrating this day. It is the United Nations Day, where we have to celebrate, take note of the accomplishments and also the resilience of women around what is enshrined in that document. So yes, despite I've talked a lot about these achievements which we've done as a country, and but despite all these, challenges still remain which are impeding the full realization of women's rights, and we need to be very honest to ourselves, because there are some people who talk like every girl now has equal opportunities. Look around in your communities and you find out that the work which we are doing is to make sure that that girl, that woman in the rural place will not remain unheard. Their voices are important. They have to be heard. So as a ministry, we do a lot of work in terms of making sure that we empower women, issues of gender-based violence, to deal with those. We've come up with the one-stop centers, which is a very good gap where you can provide a family in a community to move away from an abusive partner and be helped by so many services, institutions like Musasas, counseling. We all know gender-based violence victims are traumatized. We all know they need legal services. We all know also that the perpetrators have got to be dealt with by police. So we have got the victim-friendly unit under the one roof. We all know that mothers, when they move out of these abusive homes, they've got children. We've also taken care of making sure that their children can actually be put in a school nearby. There is a lot of challenges still going on. And as a country, we need to work together to make sure we remove these barriers. As we mark this International Day, the Women International Day, we must take stock of these challenges and explore solutions. And just there, I want to give you the information which will make everybody understand the need to accelerate whatever we have been doing so that we can achieve gender equality. If we look at cabinet ministers, we can see that we only have 24% in cabinet women. When we look at deputy ministers, slightly higher, but still far away from the 50% which is enshrined in the Constitution, 33%. When we look at ministers of state for provincial affairs and devolution, we see that out of the 10, we have got 4 out of 10. Some can say, yeah, there has been a work done there, but we still want to adhere to what is enshrined in our Constitution. So 40% is not 50%. And then when we look at Parliament, it has actually been saddening to see that the numbers of women getting into Parliament have actually been declining because we all know the reasons behind it. Women have been out there, stakeholder consultations, because like I said in the beginning, it's not about government on one side and the stakeholders on the other side. It is about government and all stakeholders working together. So we are calling for that action, and it is a vital call to action, urging us all to advance the rights of women and girls. Let's promote gender equality wherever we are, in private sector, in public sector, in schools, in the rural areas. That's why we move with the traditional leadership, the religion, in churches, our religious leaders. We need to make sure that we provide an environment where boys and girls can all succeed. The commemoration which we are talking about, again, just to emphasize, it's a UN calendar event. We do that every year. And Zimbabwe, as a member of the United Nations, is celebrating all these success stories about women on that day. And this year's celebrations are coming at a very special time as we mark the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, which was a landmark thing which happened in 1995. And we continue to look, to monitor, to evaluate where we are coming from and where we are now. So over the past 30 years, as a country, we have recorded notable achievements, including the following: gender parity in education, improvement actually in maternal health. There's a lot more to be done, but there's a lot which has been done. And when we look at what we want and where we want to go, let's not forget to look at what we have succeeded. We have also seen particularly sexual and reproductive health issue of AIDS, the way the government has dealt with it, increased awareness of our women. I must say there is a lot which is happening in the countryside. Every day, as the minister in charge of this ministry, we make use of our officers who go all the way down to ward level. It starts at provincial level. We are grateful the president has given us those civil servants who are working together with CSOs, our development partners at provincial level, at district level, at ward level. And this is to make sure that no woman is more important than the other. We are talking about all empowerment of all women. We are talking about gender equality of everyone, men and women. I know there are some who continue to ask that is there a need to continue with affirmative action? Is there a need to have a Ministry of Women Affairs? And some even feel that if you with the momentum you are moving in terms of empowering young girls, it means